Hi friends, this is Mrs. Lee, and today I'm going to show you how to make the second grade family plaque. Here's an example of the family plaque. This is one that my daughter made, and she included herself, her brother, her dad, and me. So you'll need to fit your entire family on your plaque. These are some of the materials that we're going to need to use to make our clay plaques. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our clay out of the plastic bag. So everybody will have a Ziploc bag that has 2 pieces of clay in it. You're going to open it up and you're going to unwrap your clay. Okay friends, now we are going to start to work on the different shapes to make the people. The first shape I want to make is the shape of the heads. The heads are going to be circles. So I'm going to use one of these little plastic containers and I'm going to press it into my clay to make that circle. Now sometimes I get stuck in the container. Oops, I spilled a little bit of my slip, but that's okay, it'll dry. So I can use a toothpick to just gently stick it in there and pull out, help kind of get the clay out of that. All right, and then I'm going to put that circle on my plaque. Now I might want to use a smaller one for somebody who's smaller than me. So I'm going to use this other little circle and I'm going to press it in there to make a smaller circle. And then again, I have to use my toothpick to get it out of the circle. If it gets kind of torn a little bit, that's okay. I can use my finger and I can wet my finger in a little bit of the slip. And slip is just water mixed with clay, and it sort of smooth it out. Okay, so I'm going to make 4 of these. Now, if I don't want to use the little plastic circle to do it, I can just draw it in, and this might be easier because then you don't have to deal with it getting stuck. Now what I want to do is kind of move them around and get them in the right place. So the people who are taller will be up a little higher, and the people in my family who are a little shorter, their heads will be a little bit lower. I think I'm going to use the golf tee, and I'm going to write my last name on my plaque. I want you to write your last name on your plaque. If you need help with this part, an adult can help you. All right, now I need to make sure all of these circles are stuck on my plaque. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score the back of the clay. So I'm going to take a toothpick or any sharp object, and I'm going to make little lines in the back of each head. I'm going to make them first going one direction, and then I'm going to make them going another direction, the opposite direction. And I'm also going to put these lines on the clay, wherever I'm going to be attaching my clay. So I make lines going in one direction and then another direction. This is called scoring the clay, and it's kind of like making basically something stick together like you would with a piece of Velcro by creating some texture. Okay, and now I need to take some slip, and the slip will be found in your little white cup. Slip is just basically clay mixed with some water. It's kind of like a little mud, and it's like the glue that will hold it together. So once I have my slip on there, I can take the head and I can press it down. It's been scored and slipped, and I'm pressing it down and just to make sure that it's going to stay. Okay, I have scored and slipped all of the heads. They are all pressed on firmly and attached really, really well. So now I'm going to move on to drawing the clothing. I'm going to start by first drawing a triangle for a dress, and I'm going to put it on there. It's a little too big, so I'm going to cut a little off the bottom. That looks just right. And now I'm going to draw a shirt shape, and I'm going to put that right here. And this is the part where you need to think about what do your family members like to wear? Do they wear dresses or shirts, pants or shorts? And you're going to try to draw the clothes that they would typically wear. Here's a pair of shorts. And for smaller people, you're going to draw smaller shapes. Okay? There's a little triangle shape for the dress, and now this is a little shirt shape and a small pair of shorts. All right, once I have those on there, now I'm going to need to score them. So you're going to turn them over, take your toothpick, and you're going to scratch the back of it to make little lines in one direction and then another direction, and then you also need to make the lines on the plaque. Now I'm going to dip my fingers in my cup to get a little bit of slip, add some slip onto the back, and that's going to make it really sticky so that when I put it on and I press down firmly, it's really going to stick. So I'm drawing on my legs and my feet. If you want to draw them on, again, you can do them just like this, or you can make legs and feet out of clay in the same way that we did the clothes and the heads. Also, don't forget the arms. And then I like to do a little dot dot for the eyes, maybe a nose, and maybe a little line for the mouth. All right, the last thing we're going to do is the hair. And this is one of my favorite parts. For this one, you get to use the garlic press. So you're going to take some of your leftover scraps, and you're going to put some of your leftover scraps in your garlic press. Not too much. And then you're going to take your press, and you got to use your muscles. Make sure this is lined up. There, get it in there. And then you're going to squeeze out the hair. It's so satisfying. Look at that hair. All right, so this could be a big chunk of long hair. See, I have long hair, so I'm going to add some slip to the top of my head, a little bit of scoring as well, because I really want to make sure this hair stays on there. You can't score the hair because it's these little lines and it just wouldn't work. But this is just kind of showing me where my hair is going to go. I think I'm going to take half of this off because it's going to be too much hair. Maybe a little more. I'll start with just a little bit, and then I can always add more. And I'm going to really stick that hair on there. I think I want to give myself long flowing hair. That looks pretty fun. Now, let's see. I'll give a little hair to this one. I take my toothpick again. I want to try not to cover my name. Might be best to put your name on a little later, or if you get too close to the name, you can always take your finger, rub over it with a little wet finger, and then you can redraw it up higher. Okay, I'm going to add a little slip to the top of her head. Ooh, so that's a little chunk that came out there. You add some more water, a little more slip. Okay, she has long hair, so I'm going to give her some long hair. Make it a little longer down here. And the next one, he's going to have, you know what? I could just draw his hair on like this. Look at that. Don't even need to add the extra hair because that looks like his hair. And then Dad's hair. Wow, I could just draw it on like that. If I want to, I could add a little of this to make his hair a little more three-dimensional, especially if Dad has a lot of hair or curly hair. You can use this to make the curly hair. I think I like how that looks just like that. Okay, so now you just look at it, make sure everything looks just the way you want it. Make sure everything is really stuck on there, so if you pick it up, nothing falls off. And then we need to put the holes in it. So if you look at my original here, you can see how it has a hole at the top right corner and the top left corner. The way we make the hole is by putting the golf tee through, and we want to make quite a big hole because clay will shrink when it's fired. And so this hole will shrink as well, and you want it to stay nice and big so that you can get the string through it to hang it up. Once you're done with this, you're going to bring it over to me or another adult, and we're going to put it into a box. Here's my box. We're gonna put it into the box just like this. Make sure it looks just the way we want it to, because however it looks now is how it's gonna come out of the kiln. All right, maybe I wanna touch this up. And then this is going to dry for about 3 weeks. So you're not gonna see this project for about 3 weeks. Once it's dry, I will put it in a kiln, which is a really, really, really hot oven. It gets to over 1,000 degrees hot, and it will the kiln will cook all the moisture out of this, so it will be really hard, just like a coffee cup or a plate. And then we'll bring it back to you, and the next time you see your project, it will be this color. And when it's this color, we're going to be painting it with glaze. And then it will go back into the kiln after we glaze it, and then it will come home with you looking somewhat like this. Okay, friends, I think that you're gonna find that clay is so much fun to work with, and your parents are going to love this project that you create. Let's quickly review the things that we need to do today. First, we're gonna take our clay out of our plastic bag, and we're gonna unwrap the saran wrap. You will have 2 pieces of clay. You will have your rectangle piece, and then you will have another piece that's probably a little bit smaller. The rectangle is for your plaque, and the extra piece is for your bodies. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna do the heads. And you're gonna place the heads, about the height of your body. So think about where they're gonna go. And then you have to score them and slip them. Remember, scoring means using a toothpick, and slip means adding some of your slip. Make sure everything is scored and slip, otherwise you're going to lose body parts in the kiln, and you don't want to lose body parts in the kiln. Once everything is stuck on here, please make sure you have your last name on the top. If you need help doing that, we can help you with it. And also make sure that we have the holes, and please let an adult help you with the hole. We need to make sure that that hole is nice and big so that we can put the string through it later. And then we're gonna put them in a box, and we'll put them in a shed. We have a secret shed behind the school called the drying shed, where all of our clay plaques will go and hang out for about 3 weeks to dry out. And then once they're dry, they'll come back, and we will be able to glaze them. And that's gonna be really fun. All right, friends, so go out and do your best job. I can't wait to see your family plaques.